Gemini. Happy March. I hope you're doing well. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to go through your messages first, and then I'll do the cards. Okay. A few things. I think that there's a lot going on. I think it's in reference to personal sexuality. I think that some of you are either in counseling for those kind of things, or personal things, or you're getting advice from someone, maybe a friend on something. I think that, again, this goes very much back to Taurus reading and to the Tuesday night throw that I did, which I normally don't do, but I think it's about repressed it's like trauma that it stunted, I think, your sexual maturity. You know what I mean? And I think you may be exploring some things right now. And that's what I really feel is coming up here. I think for some of you, you've got new relationships in here. For some of you, I think there's chemistry and attraction with new people, right? Affection for sure. But for others of you, I think it kind of turns a little bit into the I think there are things here where it's kind of like a 50 Shades of Grey kind of thing, but that's part of what you're exploring, I think, as far as what you're doing here. I think for some of you there's jealousy here. For some of you there's seduction in here. I feel all this energy. It's a whirlwind of energy, I will tell you that. And it's all over the place as far as in masculine, feminine, and it's very different as far as how do I say? Some is very light and some is very heavy energy, right? So take that for what it's worth. Okay. For some of you, I think that you are you're really getting massive downloads of spiritual messages, things like that, right? You may even be in some kind of you may be counseling someone, or someone may be counseling you, or you just may be talking with, you know, a group of friends about this, about spiritual things, okay? I think some relationships are growing. I think there's massive growth in here for that. For some of you, I think that you're starting to question your purpose, right? And that could be where that you were maybe talking to a friend or something about your spiritual purpose. We go through those kind of things, and this would be the perfect kind of energy for something like that to come up. I would suggest to you, like I'm suggesting to my clients with things, right? See where it goes, you know? Just ride it out. See what it's showing you. Usually when we're not fighting against something like, oh my gosh, I've got to have a purpose. I cannot get up today and not have a purpose. Your purpose, you're here. That's your purpose, right? So just let these things on days where you feel, you know what, I may not want to do this anymore. I may not, you know, what is my purpose? What do I want to do? What do you want to do, right? So sometimes just sit with that energy of the void, and it fills itself in. It's when we jump ahead of it and we're like, oh my God, I've got a void. I've got to fill in this hole here. You don't give the universe time to show you anything. You know what I mean? That's just see how it goes. Feel this out for those of you that are doing that, okay? For others of you, I think you've got relationships going on here that are growing. For some of you, I think that, I'm going to say this, and I'm only putting it out here, you're grown adults, absolutely, but you want to be careful if you are a little bit on the exploring end of things. You're adults. I don't even know how to phase this so that I'm not invading your space, but just I would say to you, whatever you're doing, make sure that these are, or whatever it is that you're doing here. This is not energy to go blindly into something with people you don't know or someone you don't know. This is not, that could go very, very wrong here. I have to say that, okay? The other stuff, you know, you're on your own. Like I say, you're adults. I'm not judging or anything. I'm just saying that some of you are exploring uncharted territory here, which is telling me you're in uncharted territory, right? But for some of you, don't be led astray by people that aren't in uncharted territory, because that could go very, very violently wrong. Putting that out there just because it's coming up in the energy, okay? I think that some people have had experiences here, prolonged repression of things, right? Sometimes people don't want to get into a sexual relationship because something's going on prior to, right? So when you decide now that you want to go forward with something, I'm just saying, kind of don't jump blindly there. Again, you're all adults. I think too that there's the energy that I'm feeling is just, again, it's like jumping from adolescence to adulthood all at the same time. And I think that while there's wonder in that, I think it's due to some repression somewhere. So I think you're stepping outside of your comfort zone now, you know, which is great. Just do it in a way that's not going to harm you in any way, okay? Again, there's a real sexual undertone in this reading here. So that's why I'm going in that direction. I've got to pull this in. I normally don't get this in a general reading. I think that, you know, you may have more in common with people that have been in your surroundings than you really realize. I think that, you know, there's people who have been through things in life that I think you may just really see the other side of people that you hadn't seen before, and I think it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable, okay? Again, I think it's that feeling of going from childhood to adulthood only to discover adolescence. I think it's a great energy. I don't see anything negative here. The only thing I would watch out for is, again, there's extremes here. Okay, there's people trying to find themselves, and I think that that's fine, right? You didn't ask me for my opinion, though. But then I think there's others of you that the only reason I'm putting this warning out here is, again, because I think things can go, you know, very wrong very fast, and that's the extent that I can put on that. But I'm just saying, I feel energy here where, you know, there's certain times with certain energies where I'll say, you know, whatever, go for it, go explore things, you know. But when you've got energy like this, you've got people that are, you're going to start to notice these things that may have been repressed for people, but they're really dark things, and they're clashing with your things that you're trying to just experiment with. That's a collision right there. That's like a F5 tornado that can go very wrong, right? So that's the only reason I'm putting that out there. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say. All right, Gemini. I have no idea what the hell you're doing, but let me hit it from a work perspective first. For some of you, you may be going back to the drawing board. I feel like scientist kind of things, testing, medical, you're going back over something more as a test, like more of a test to see if something works or not. It's more as like a test than a finished product, right? So you might be trying something in a different way, right? Like you may be critiquing something like that. Keep at it, because I think that you get what you're looking for here. I think you find something it's not exactly what you're looking for, but I think you find another, you know what you're doing. So it's something like that. It's something like, it's not something like I did a project, it failed, I'm going to hit it again. This is like more like a scientific kind of, there's different ingredients here. By that I mean there's different phases in whatever it is that you're doing. Something like that. I feel that you're going to get what you're going for here. In business, this goes well. Okay. Now, for others of you, I think you're exploring things in your marriage. And like I mentioned before, I think there's things going on here. You may be doing things that are unconventional or exploring things that are unconventional. I'm going to say this. I don't feel one person is really wanting to do this in this equation. So I'm going to, there is a strong warning against prudent behavior, I should say. I don't think you're going to get the outcome that you're looking for here. But again, I'm just the messenger here. I think there is, like I say, there's an adventurous marriage in here. And for some of you, it may be two separate things. It may be, it may be just that. All right, here's our cards. That would help, wouldn't it? I'm so sorry. I'm a little overwhelmed with this reading, honestly. So we've got the Five of Wands, the Moon card, and the Hanging Man card. Okay. Now the Hangman is our energy coming in. Okay. And in the past, we've got the Star card. Okay. We're crowned with the Nine of Wands. We're anchored in the Five of Coins. Coming up, we've got the Three of Swords. Now, your self-image in this is the Six of Coins. The external, your reputation, outside influences. You've got the Four of Wands. You've got the Hermit card in your hopes and fears. And your outbound card is the King of Wands. Okay, I feel a very not balanced, I've got to be honest with you. I have a very unsettled feeling here. And I mean, that could be just me. It could. But with the Five of Wands and the Nine of Wands, the Three of Swords, the Five of Coins, it's just telling me, and the Moon card and the Hanging Man card. These are all cards of saying, you may be in a situation that you're not real happy about, and you may be, maybe feeling stronghold. This is someone who can be erratic, right? This is someone who would force someone to do something because they wanted them to do it. I've got to pull on my messages more than I can pull on the cards. The cards just show me where to put it, and it just really speaks of you're anchored in the Five of Coins. This is temporary. Yes, it can be a loss of something though, but it's usually something, it's temporary of course, but it can be a third party experience. It can be something from the outside comes into your life, which is what I think someone though, I don't think it's just coming in. I think that, well, I shouldn't say that. I want to pull a clarifier on that King of Swords there. I just have a feeling that that's not the Four. This in your outside, in your reputation here, what people are, this can be people really coming internal, again into your home here. It's usually a card of celebration. Romance, stability. On the job front, you have that message coming in. On the job front, you don't want to get cocky here. You want to work well with the people that you're working with. Okay. I just had to throw that out there because that can mean something. You know, you've got the Star card in the past, which is telling me that it's a card of needing to know who you are. It's also a card, though, of starting from it's a card of being able to stand on your own. There's a lot more to that Star card than just meets the eye. And giving it's coming in the past, I need to clarify some of this stuff. All right, you've got the World card, the Eight of Swords, the Judgment card. These are all at the bottom of the deck. Okay, the World card is the completion of a cycle. The Eight of Swords is saying that if you're not really wanting in on all of this stuff that's going on here, you have what you take to, you can get yourself out. The Judgment card is a wake-up call to go in a different direction. I've got to put this out here because it's showing up here, okay? And I got it in I don't remember if the message was in this. I just felt a real, I think it was one of the readings I did already. So it was either Aries or Taurus, but there was a danger zone in there. And with these two cards, I've got to point it out again that, you know, there's a danger of things going really awry here. You know, I'm not an advocate. I mean, I don't know anything. I've got to be honest with you. I don't know anything about, you know, I don't know anything about, you know, sexual things that I guess could get you into. I don't know anything about this. I just know that I have a very uneasy feeling here. So someone could get hurt here. This could end up being a very violent situation. So again, if you're following the pact here and you're not really on board with this, get out of Dodge, because it really just may save your life. It's a general tarot reading. I can't elaborate any more on it, but you've got cards here, you know, that can really speak of some harm coming your way. Don't leave me a negative comment, please, guys, that the reading sucks, it's bad. I'm interpreting the messages here. Sometimes the messages aren't great. It doesn't mean that the reading sucks. That I can assure you, or I wouldn't deliver it, okay? But you've got stuff in here. I want to see, though, here what what this Three of Swords is. Okay. The Hierophant. Okay, it's tradition. It's doing things by the book, doing things, you know, how they've always been done. Maybe you're breaking out of tradition. That could be what this is. That would make this not a negative, right? It's you're doing things your own way. You're not going to do things, you know, how you're going to explore your options here. Okay. Now, the Hermit card in your hopes and fears, that's a card of, again, you could be seeking wisdom from someone. You could be seeking guidance from someone. One of your messages, I believe, was spiritual teachings. That's absolutely, he would be a great advisor. It would show up as a great advisor for that. Okay, so that's a positive. We'll take the Hermit. That's good, right? All right. I want to see what the Nine of Wands up here is, and I want to see what this King of Wands is. Okay, it's the Page of Swords. All right, so if you've got the King of Wands here as the actual person, and you've got the Page of Wands here as the energy of him, that's not good. Because the Page of Swords, it's never good. It's more the delivery of something than the actual person themselves. You know what I mean? Like, this is someone who's not going to take no for an answer. So again, you know, All right, Wheel of Fortune and Justice in reverse. I normally would not take this, but it fell out this way, and this is such a freaky reading that I'm going to take it. Justice in reverse means things are not going to go your way. So again, there's karma in this card, but I think something's coming back around here. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune these are like oxymorons. So don't get into something that you can't get yourself out of, I guess is where I'm going to go with this. Not good. Not good. Use your noggin here. Seriously. The Wheel of Fortune is a fated event. It may give you a doorway here. I would suggest you take it because this is not a good card. If you're in some kind of legal situation here, this is not a good card to have, right? But the Wheel of Fortune is. My concern here is that it normally won't come up like this if you've not played a role in this. You know what I mean? So again, your message coming in was to use prudence, right? There was a warning with that if you're not using, what was the exact message? And I got it around the star card. Again, if you lack prudence and tact, right? This would absolutely be a lack of that. It would absolutely be a lack of that. So again, that will pertain to you, how that pertains to you. But I do want to see what this Nine of Wands up here is. Okay. You here, though, with this 6 and the star card here, in the past and how you're showing up here, that 6 of Cups is, it can be, if it's in a dialogue with another person, make sure that it's, you know, exactly what you need it to be here, okay? Make sure that you're showing up here, like being heard, being seen, all of that. But what this card really stands for is it's not always 3 people. These can be just different parts of yourself, but to get the 6 of Coins is a card of knowing how to direct your actions. You know what I mean? So you know where you're going. It's your imbalance here, right? But you've got the 5 where you're anchored. So temporarily, something is throwing you out of whack here. Let me see what this 9 of, because coming in crowned with the 9 of Wands, you're on your last. You're just, you know when, okay. And we've got a jumper, which is the 7. There's a lot of, this is not good. All right, I'm going to just point blank. It's not good. You've got a lot of animosity cards, a lot of disruption. There can be violence in here. I'm going to put it out here. So the energy's coming in. Don't push. Don't push. Just take the smart route, zip it, and just get out of Dodge if that's the area that you're in, because you've got the 4 of Wands, the 5 of Wands, the 7 of Wands, the 9 of Wands. The 7 of Wands is a destiny card, but and with all of this, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I guess is the real, that's what the reading is coming down to. It's like, honestly, and I'm not laughing, but it's like, what are you doing? That's what it's asking you to do here. This is just saying you've got to bring whatever the heck is going on here to an end. You've got to. This can speak of, though, guys, a real physical end. So don't put yourself in jeopardy here. Okay? And I'm not laughing. It's just, this is a general reading. I did not expect this. So there you go. Okay? I hope that helped you in some way. If you need a private reading, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to elaborate. Okay? Thank you so much.